Hey everybody, welcome. This is a video, as they say in the Wizard of Oz, a horse of a different color. And I am doing this from my car because I need to run some errands. It's a Sunday and it's really important that I multitask today. Okay, so I've been promising you this video and I'm gonna finally get it to you. It is the what did I do to lose 21.6 pounds in 8 weeks. Okay, so I have to first talk about the most important things about weight loss. It is a mind game. Like, your head has to be in it, okay? If your head is not in it, if you're not committed to it, it's not gonna work. Point blank and period, because it is the commitment that keeps you going when things are not going your way. So that's number one. Number two is really finding something that works for you, okay? So some people like a low carb diet. Some people do Weight Watchers and they do points. Some people just like to count calories. Some people do low fat. Some people do low carb. Really, it's really about, there are many things that will work for many bodies, right? But what's more important is finding something that is sustainable for you. So for instance, I know Atkins, South Beach diet, all those low carb things, I've tried them. I know that they work, and unfortunately I like carbs. So to me, that is not sustainable to me. That's not something that I can do and carry on into my regular life in order to maintain loss and to continue weight loss. So I just, it's my last resort, I will put it that way. That would only be a short-term change for me. I cannot stick with the low carb thing, but I do know that it works. For me, it's just not sustainable for me, and I know this about myself, and it's important for you to know those types of things about yourself. Okay, so now that I've got that out of the way, let's talk about what works for me. The other one thing before going into this 8 weeks is I had to determine and make an evaluation of what my vices were, so, and what my weight issues were. So sometimes doctors look at you and they say you're overweight and they think it's because you eat too much. That is not my problem. It's not that I don't eat too much. My problem is that I barely eat at all. You know, I have a very demanding work schedule during the day, and a lot of times I can get tunnel vision and I don't get hungry. I don't have to use the bathroom. It just is what it is. And unfortunately, I'm not a morning person, so, and I work from home, so a lot of times I'm rolling over and getting on the laptop. Now, once I get into my email, my day is gone. It's just gone. Anything I have planned for the rest of the morning is gone. I am in work mode, tunnel vision, until I am done. And unfortunately, my first meal often comes 1:30, 2:30, sometimes as late as 9 p.m. at night, and that's just not good for anybody. So I had absolutely no metabolism whatsoever, and my choice of food by the time that I finally did get my one or two meals were not good. You know, I ate out a lot. I mean, I'm single, I don't have any kids, I don't have like a family to cook for, so for me it's just easier to order something, have it delivered, go out, go through a drive-through or what have you. It's not very good for my wallet. It's not very good for my waistline, but you know, that worked for me. By the time I actually got to food, I just didn't want to be bothered with cooking anything, and even if it took an hour to get there and I could have food in my mouth in 15 minutes, I didn't want to be bothered because I'm tired now. my brain tired from working. So that's just what it was. So one of the things that I had to discern for myself is what are one of my worst, like my diet vices, and that is not eating breakfast. If I had breakfast, no matter what it was, I'm not big on breakfast. I don't care what breakfast is. Could be liquid, could be a piece of toast, whatever. As long as I had something for breakfast, I was less likely to order food. So I made a determination to eat breakfast, and then to also try to get at least 3 meals in a day. If I could fit in a couple of snacks, great, but at least 3 meals a day, because one of my major goals was to boost my metabolism. And that's what they say, when you don't have a metabolism and you go on a diet, you have to eat. Okay, so that was number one. I decided to do that. So I decided, instead of ordering food in the middle of the workday while I was working and just letting it come when it came, I decided to choose healthy microwave meals, as if I were in the office. Healthy microwave meals that I could prepare. They'd be in the freezer, and when it was time to eat, or no matter what it was, I could go in the kitchen really fast, pull one out of the freezer, and within 5 minutes have a meal ready to eat. So that's what I had decided to do. So I had a healthy shake, actually a vegan protein nutritional shake that I would drink with water. I decided to get these protein bars, like Kind bars, I think a couple of like some other kind of bars as well, but I would get those. So with the nutritional shake, it's not a meal replacement. So if I'm not going to have it like in a smoothie, then I needed to have like a fiber bar or a protein bar or something with it, or else I'd be hungry in an hour and a half. So that's that. And then I had to decide on how I was going to try to get vegetables into my life. And that was important as well, because I don't get enough vegetables. So it helped. The protein shake helped a lot. I'm at my first stop. The protein shake helped a lot because it gave me 21 grams of protein first thing in the morning. It helped me get 2 cups of water down, and then if I had a fiber bar with it, I would have another 2 cups of water. So that's 4 cups of water first thing in the morning, no matter what, and I would be good for at least the next 4 hours. And then when it was time to eat lunch, I would have my healthy choice steamer. And that was my food of choice. Healthy choice steamers, they have the Simply and they have the non-Simply. The difference between the two is that the Simply is supposed to be all natural ingredients. Both versions have no preservatives, so that was one thing my acupuncturist told me to just check to make sure there wasn't a lot of preservatives. And because I am hypertension conscious, I like to make sure, because like a lot of the microwave meals have a lot of sodium in them. So I made a conscious effort to make sure that every meal that I chose had less than 600 milligrams of sodium in them. And the best part about it is most of these meals are less than 300 calories per meal. Some of them are as low as 180 calories. So, and they're really tasty. It's a small portion, something to get used to if you are used to eating large portions, but they are small portions. And you know, I try to drink 2 cups of water with every meal that I have and all of that. So dinner was going to be a bit more of a challenge. I wanted to maybe work on doing things that stuff that I would cook instead of ordering out and having delivery. So I decided that I liked the Gordon's fish that I could just bake. It's breaded, but so what? I have like a New Wave oven, and then I have my oven. So either way, I can make it in a New Wave. It's crunchy, and then I would have a bunch of spinach or a salad with it. So there are these really good Walmart bag salad. Any of those salads, Any of those salads are really good, and then I can just throw the fish on. Unfortunately, fish does not have a lot of protein. I was trying to avoid red meat, and then I eat a lot of chicken, so I was just trying to get something different, and it just turned out that I was eating a lot of fish and just not getting enough protein. And that's nonetheless, I still lost weight, but you know, I would say, you know, mix up your meats. I was doing a lot of fish, and I've since moved to chicken to alternate those as well, but I was doing a lot of spinach because that's like easy, and I would do different things with those because I could just throw that in the new wave, and 18 minutes later it's cooked, from frozen to cooked and crispy, and I could either have a mixed salad with it, which is tasty, or I could get like a low carb whole grain wrap and use spinach and make like a wrap out of it, and that would just be something different. So at least with the spinach, I'm getting my vegetables, and then I'm eating a healthy meal. Now, I would have a couple of snacks. I happen to like the Outshine Real Fruit bars. Those are really good. My favorite flavors are pineapple, strawberry. I really love watermelon and pomegranate. So those are my favorites there. Also, I was trying to avoid dairy as much as I could as well, because my acupuncturist suggested it. So I've been trying to avoid dairy for a very long time. That is why my shake, which is a Vega protein shake, is a plant protein shake and not a whey protein, which is whey is a dairy product. So that is all plant protein, and she told me specifically look for something with like hemp protein in it or whatever. So that was a way of me getting my vegetables with that particular shake, and it's actually really tasty considering all the other shakes out here. They are just not very good unless you're putting it in a smoothie, but this tastes really good. I just mix it with water and put it down really quick, and then have my fiber bar and chase that with some more water. So that's that. So that was my plan going into my 8 weeks, how I was going to eat breakfast, how I was going to do lunch, and how I was going to do dinner. The great thing about the Healthy Choice steamers is that there are so many flavors that I can literally get 2 weeks worth of lunches and not have to buy anything twice. So I am really big on variety. So you know, some people do meal prep. Me personally, meal prep doesn't work for me because I don't like the monotony. Like, the only time you will see me repeat food is if I'm like totally obsessed with it, and I love it, and I have to have it, but only lasts but so long. So I needed to make sure whatever I was doing, there was some variety in order for me to stick with it. So I tried that the first day that I started. I did not start on a Monday. I decided to do this when I came back from my business trip. So if you remember, I had a business trip, and I'll put the link up here, that I saw the doctor on Tuesday. I was on a plane Tuesday night to Chicago. I came back from Chicago Thursday night, and Friday the diet was on. So because I now lost most of my first week of the 8 weeks, so I needed to get on it and hit the ground running, and it didn't help that I gained 3 pounds while in Chicago either. So I started the journey on that Friday at 270.2 pounds, and let's see, so I started that. So then over the weekend, while I was I'm totally, I say this all the time, I'm totally obsessed with YouTube and all you TTC ladies, and while I'm watching YouTube videos, I just happened to come across another young lady who was explaining how she lost 82 pounds in 3 months. Sorry, my car is like almost out of gas, so it was beeping at me. So you're gonna hear that beep a few times because now I'm just sitting here at the pet store. So she basically had a video that said how she lost 82 pounds in 3 months, and I wanted to watched that, and it turned out that she was doing something called intermittent fasting. Now, this was not my first time hearing about intermittent fasting. As a matter of fact, my hairdresser had mentioned it to me before. Didn't sound like something I was interested in at all, but I watched her video, and she did lose a lot of weight, and I figured it was something I hadn't tried before. I didn't know how it would work, how well it would work for me, especially since I needed to eat more, not eat more. So but what she explained is that it wasn't about reducing your calories. So you have this certain amount of calories that you're going to eat in a day. With intermittent fasting, you know, you fast the majority part of the day, and then you eat a certain part of the day, and there are different splits. I suggest you do your research about it. I watched quite a few different videos. Everyone who talks about it basically said if you're going to start out, you start out with a 8-16 split, which means you eat for 8 hours of the day and you fast for 16 hours of the day, and this includes your sleep time. So this worked well for me. I just had to pick the timing in which I was going to eat between. So I chose between 12 and 8 p.m. So for me, my alarm goes off at 6:30 in the morning, but I'm usually working out. Either I'm in the bed or I'm working out during that time, and I never eat before I work out. So by the time I am done, I am usually done working out somewhere between 8:30 and 9 a.m. So let's say I'm done working out at 8 a.m. and that's the earliest that I could possibly put food in my mouth. I felt that 12 p.m. was fine, because in my normal day, it's not uncommon for me to have my first meal after 1:30 in the afternoon. So that worked great. What didn't work so great for me was the fact that I could not eat after 8 p.m., which, because I would start breakfast so late, I would often eat dinner at 9, 10, sometimes 11 o'clock at night. So that was going to be a struggle for me, because I am a night owl and I am up. So, you know, I was willing to try it. You know, I had to be laser focused on this. I had less than 8 weeks. I pretty much, like, this was a Sunday by the time I found the video. So I pretty much had 7 weeks to be laser focused to drop 35 pounds. Because remember, this weight loss journey started because I needed to get my BMI under 40 in order for my RE to move forward in an IVF cycle with me. So that was the whole point in this sort of 8 weeks committed, laser focused weight loss journey. So I said I would give it a try for like 2 weeks just to see how well it would work for me. And this was really quick into my diet plan, which I had already set up. So that Sunday, I think I found the videos on Saturday, and that Sunday is when I started the actual intermittent fasting, and I started with the 8-16 split. Now I'm going to tell you, there are some people out there who do a 4-20 split, and then there are some people who even go into, like, every once in a while they do a whole 24 hours of fasting. There's a lot of information out there on, like, whether you can eat during the fasting time, how many calories you can consume before you take yourself out of fasting, and all of that. I didn't want to play with that, so I just didn't eat at all while I was fasting. If I was incredibly hungry or anything like that, I would drink, like, a green tea or drink water, or lemon water, just something that had no calories in it whatsoever, just to sort of take the edge off so I could get to the point where it was time to eat. But that didn't start happening until later, because I believe, because I was I had already planned to have 3 meals a day, with 1 to 2 snacks along with that. I had to now fit this into 8 hours, so that means I was pretty much eating every 2 hours. Whole meals, eating every 2 hours. This actually made the smaller portions of the healthy choice meals a lot easier to deal with, because I I was eating so often, the smaller portions didn't bother me as much. So this actually worked out really, really well. And then once you get used to the smaller portions, your stomach kind of shrinks, and then you don't need the bigger portions. So that's that. Also, that was helpful for me, especially with the food that's kind of prepackaged already. And I know it's not the cleanest way, but listen, this is what worked for me. I have to do what works for me. So I use MyFitnessPal, and I'm still on MyFitnessPal. I don't have very many friends. I'd love some more friends. So if you want to be friends with me on MyFitnessPal, here's my MyFitnessPal username. Feel free to friend me, and we can go on this weight loss journey together, because I do still have weight to lose. But I would use that to make sure that I was staying within my suggested calorie goal, which MyFitnessPal pretty much put me at 1,300 calories. Throughout this diet with my meal plan, I was pretty much staying, this is including my snacks, I was pretty much staying within usually under 1,200 calories a day. If I went over 1,200 calories a day, I was probably eating something I wasn't supposed to be eating. And then I never ate more just because I worked out that day or whatever. So my first week, or maybe even almost the first 2 weeks, I barely worked out at all. For me, it's too hard to implement a new meal plan and implement a new workout schedule at the same time. I didn't want to stress myself out about it. I know the battle just won at the table, so I wanted to focus more on my food. And then when I got comfortable with that, I would, add the exercise. For me, the exercise was not as important, but I did need to do the exercise as well. So for the first week or so, I believe I probably didn't work out at all. Then the second week, I implemented my 3-day-a-week walking. And so I would do 20-minute walks with a 5-minute warm-up and a 5-minute cool-down. So it was 30 minutes. And I would do that 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that was working out so well. So at the end of my 4 weeks, you see the video, I visited the doctor, and I was down 12 pounds for him, but he didn't know I had gained an extra 3 pounds, so I was really down 15 pounds in 4 weeks. And everybody was really super duper happy. And then he started talking his junk about pushing IVF from November to January, and that pissed me off and all of that. But I felt even more pressure to get this weight off of me. So that 15 pounds was actually in the midst of Hurricane Irma, which you also see in the video that we voluntarily escaped from Orlando to Atlanta, and it was a very stressful time coming home from that, because it took 17 hours to get home for a drive that should have only been 7 hours. Okay, so it took 17 hours to come home. So that was really stressful, but then I still managed to, and it kind of interfered with my meal plan as well, and with the intermittent fasting, because I couldn't keep up that schedule at someone else's house on the different meal times and all of that. So totally interrupted my plan, but I tried to stick to things as much as I possibly could, but that was difficult. But I did, and I still managed to lose the 15 pounds in the midst of all of that in that 4 weeks. So when I got back, I was determined to really get back on it and stick to it. I will also say that when I dropped the first 10 pounds, I did celebrate with a meal, not a whole day, just one meal that I celebrated with, and it was a Haitian dish called griot, which is basically deep fried pork belly. It's so good. But I celebrated with that, and then it came with rice and peas, or basically black rice. And I'm not Haitian, but I love Caribbean food. I love Caribbean food. So it's just I didn't even eat all of the rice. I ate half of the rice, and I ate all of the grill, the fried pork, and you know, and it came with like some cabbage or whatever. And I drank water. I didn't have soda, which usually when I have Caribbean food, I usually get like a Jamaican cola or an apple soda or something like that. None of that. I drank water, and it took 3 days. I gained weight, obviously, from that meal. But it took 3 days to get back to the weight that I was that morning I had the meal. So I decided then that celebrating even every 10 pounds it took too long for me to recover from one celebration meal. So I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. And that was, you know, obviously within the 4 weeks as well. So I felt like I lost a week, and then I lost a week and a half. I had already lost a week for my business trip, or like half a week. And then I lost pretty much a week with my celebration meal. And then I lost basically a week with Hurricane Irma. And still I managed to lose 15 pounds, which, you know, even my acupuncturist was astounded. And I was incredibly proud of myself. And then the doctor got on my nerves. So that was that. But I refused to let him defeat me. So what I did then next is for the next 4 weeks, I decided that I needed to kick up my workouts. So I changed my straight 20-minute walking and one straight pace to intervals. So now 30-minute intervals with a 5-minute warm-up, 5-minute cool down. And then I instituted some resistance training as well, twice a week on my in-between days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, interval walking, and then Tuesday, Thursday, some resistance training. Now the resistance training plan is a full body resistance training. It is like high intensity training where you do a few movements, and then you rest for 30 seconds, and then you do a few more movements. It's actually from the Dr. Phil 2020 plan. I thought it was a good full body, you know, resistance workout. So I like it a lot. I will put the exercises in the description of this video, and you know, how you kind of order them for anybody that's interested in that. So I kicked everything up, and then I lost a little bit of weight. I probably lost maybe another 4 pounds. But you know, within this last 4 weeks, that is also when I found out that I won the 4 free vials. And so now I wasn't shooting for IVF in November anymore. And I started a cycle mid this 4 weeks. So 2 weeks in, I had only lost another 4 pounds. You know, the doctor wanted me to keep up with my weight loss. I was upset about, I know I had lost the 4 pounds, but I was upset that I had not lost more, considering that I was committed to doing the entire 8 weeks, and it had been 2 weeks and I'd only lost 4 pounds. So in a regular sense, I guess, you know, 2 pounds a week is actually great. That's normal, healthy weight loss. But I needed to lose another 20 pounds in this next 4 weeks. And having kicked up my workouts, I was just really disappointed about that. And so after that, I think, you know, the pressure was really on, and basically I plateaued for the rest of it. You know, I was pretty much the same weight up until the very last day on October 19th, which you saw in a video where I finally broke 250 pounds and ended up with that morning on my scale was 248.6, I believe. But I was pretty much 3 weeks trying to get under 250, and I was hovering 250, 251, 252 within those 3 pounds, and I just could not break 250 to save my life. And I finally broke it at the end of the 8 weeks, and I think the pressure was finally off of me, and I was able to relax, and my body felt that relaxing, and then I was able to finally lose that weight. So 30 minutes in, this is what I did to lose 21.6 pounds in a week. So diet, exercise, commitment, and finding what works for you. Now, where am I today? Because today is November 12th. I believe today is the 12th. I don't know what day it is. This is only telling me the time. It doesn't have the date on it. But I believe it is November 12th. Or 11th. I don't know. Let me see. I can't tell. Oh yeah, today's the 12th. Okay. So, where I am today. So, after that 8 weeks, you also saw in this video, I said I was going to treat myself. I did. I indulged for about 2 weeks, but I didn't go crazy because I didn't want to basically throw away all my hard work. So, I put on about 5 pounds during that 2 weeks, which we know we fluctuate between the same 5 pounds. So anything over 5 pounds I consider actual weight gain, because you can put on, you know, between water and all of that. So today is Sunday. Last Monday I decided to sort of get back on the intermittent fasting train. I'd given my body a break from it totally for 2 weeks. So the thing about intermittent fasting is that when you're on it for some time, after a while your body gets used to that schedule and you start to plateau. And I was warned about this by my acupuncturist, and I was warned again by my RE that I would plateau on the intermittent fasting. So when that plateau happened, I decided to do it 3 days a week instead of 7 days a week, and while keeping my calories. Again, my diet was super duper strict. I would only eat certain foods because that was working for me. But now everything's a lot more relaxed. I am back on it. I've already lost 4 of the 5 pounds that I gained in this last week. And so intermittent fasting does work, you know, and making sure you stick to a healthy eating plan and not eating out and all of that great stuff. So I do have a girlfriend of mine is also wanting to lose weight as well. So we've both made a commitment that for the next 5 weeks we would commit to something that helped attribute to the weight loss. So for the next 5 weeks I have committed to not eating out at all. So no drive-through, no pickup, no delivery. If I ate out, it would have to be a sit-down restaurant dinner, which is obviously not fast food. So I don't go out very much. I am a hermit. I live in a bubble under a rock. I tell people this all the time. So unless somebody, like in the event that someone invites me out, I don't want to not go out because I'm committed to not eating out for 5 weeks. So with the exception of someone inviting me out to dinner, I will not eat out for the next 5 weeks because I still have not made it to my 235 pound goal. That would get my BMI under 40 for the RE to want to do my my IVF. So I am trying to get back to that, and I have 15 pounds to go because I'm basically still at that 250 weight, and so I've got 15 pounds to go. The goal is to get there before New Year's. So that is my goal, is to lose 15 pounds before New Year's. And since today is November 12th, I have half of this month and all of next month to drop 15 pounds. I believe I can do it without having to be as laser focused as I was previously. And that's pretty much that. That's where I am. If you have any other questions or anything that you think I haven't covered in this video, anything that you want to know, anything else that you want to you know, think I may have done, or want to ask questions about what I did or how I did it, just let me know. If you think I need to elaborate in another video on some elements of this particular plan that I've been on, let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to oblige there. So thank you for watching this video. I know all my videos are long. This is another long one, but I think it was important to, you know, let you guys know that first, you know, headspace to find what works for you. You know, this worked for me. It doesn't mean that it will work for you. And also to find something that's sustainable for you. That's the more important thing than trying to follow what someone else has done. So thank you again for joining me on my channel, TamikiaTT, and sticky baby dust to all you TTCers out there. See you in the next video. Bye.